We believe that God's desire for us from the very beginning was to experience complete unity or community with Him and with each other. And sadly enough, in the garden, that dream came to a screeching halt. Ever since then, though, we're confident that God's plan was for us to continue to experience that with Him and with each other. And if you look at it through the Old Testament on into the New Testament and even in the early church, He does that by connecting us up into smaller communities, smaller groups of people, where we can experience that kind of community in a way we can't otherwise. And so in this chapter, we're going to take a look at the power of small groups to connect the unconnected, to develop 3C Christ followers, and not only that, but to also see small groups as maybe the very best place we can develop leaders to be on this missional movement.
For many years, when we were attending community, my wife always wanted us to be in small groups, and pretty much whenever the pastor got up there on the stage and said, hey, one of the most important things here at community is small groups, I would just stare straight ahead and act like I was very interested, while my wife would drill her eyeballs into the side of my head, wanting me to look at her and tell me, hey, we need to do this. And I just really saw no need to share my life with other people that I didn't really know, and all that touchy-feely, feel-good stuff. After 17 years, I was trapped, coerced to joining a small group. And actually, it was a term group. It was a 10-week term group that I called a class. I wasn't ready to still be in a small group. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed the people. I enjoyed the material. It was fun. At the end of that 10 weeks, the group we were with, we kind of knocked around, hey, should we continue on as a small group? A vote was taken that, yes, we would do this, but only if I was the apprentice leader. I, without knowing what an apprentice leader did or was supposed to do, said okay. Didn't realize that I was going to meet with my leader every week and talk about that week's material and talk about my life and my spiritual journey and all that. But I found myself sharing more and more, and just really enjoying it and opening up more, and really progressing a little faster on my journey with Christ, which really surprised me. It's not what I expected at all. The apprenticeship probably lasted about a year, and during that time, I would handle pieces of the group each Wednesday. We met on Wednesdays, and I would just maybe handle the first couple of questions or the last few questions. Every time, meeting with my leader the following week to talk about how the previous week went and preparing for the upcoming week. One of the last things that was most difficult for me was leading the group in prayer at the end. They wanted to hold hands and all this stuff, and I still was, pray out loud, you got to be kidding me. Eventually, I was coerced and encouraged by the group to do that, and like everything else, I found it was harmless, and it was great, and it was freeing. It was great. After about a year, our leader, decided to move on, and they went back to do another term group, and there I was, having to find my own apprentice and train them. I thought about it and looked at some of the folks in the group and talked to one guy, and he agreed to be my apprentice. So then I just started the whole process over in meeting with him and encouraging him and talking to him about the upcoming week's message and going over how he's been handling it. So far, it's been a great process. He's caught on a lot quicker than I did. I think it's the teacher. It's just been a lot of fun, and fun getting to know this guy better. It's been fun for me in sharing the things that I've learned, just kind of pouring what I've learned into him and seeing him accept it and think it's, and seeing it help him. Actually, now we've come to a time where I'm going to leave the group and turn the group over to my apprentice leader, and he and I are currently working on identifying an apprentice for him to work with and lead and teach, and my wife and I are going to leave, and we've kind of come full circle, and we're going to lead a term group, or class, as I like to call it. In the 20 years that my wife and I have been together, from 17 years ago, I went from, I don't need small groups, I don't need any of this, I don't want to share with people, to being coerced and tricked into joining a term group and kind of tricked into being an apprentice. And then going through that process and then being a leader and having an apprentice of my own. And now reproducing and turning my group over to my apprentice and starting yet another group. It's really been a great journey for me, and I can't say enough about small groups and the whole process of apprenticing, leading, and then reproducing that group, and the feeling it gives you watching the person you apprentice take over the group, and then the freshness and everything of you starting your own new group. It's been great.